Have you ever heard of a man so fierce, so unstoppable, that with nothing but one spear in his hand, he cut down 800 warriors in a single battle? This is not a legend. This is not a myth. This is the story of Adino the Eznite, one of King David's mighty men, a warrior whose courage and strength carved his name forever into the pages of Scripture. But who was this man? What led him into this impossible fight? And what happened after he accomplished the unimaginable? Stay with me as we dive into one of the most jaw-dropping stories of valor in the Bible. To understand Adino's moment of glory, we must step back into the time of David's reign. Israel was constantly surrounded by enemies: Philistines, Amalekites, Moabites, and countless raiders who wanted to wipe God's people off the map. King David, though a man after God's own heart, knew that his throne was under constant threat. So God raised up the three, David's most elite warriors. These were men who were not just soldiers, they were legends. Their names struck fear into the hearts of their enemies. And at the top of this list stood Adino the Eznite. Adino was no ordinary warrior. His loyalty to David, his faith in God, and his unmatched skill in battle made him a force of nature. The Bible only gives us one line about him, that he lifted up his spear and killed 800 men at one time. But behind that one line is a story of grit, blood, and glory. Imagine the scene. The Philistines had gathered their armies again. Waves upon waves of soldiers poured onto the battlefield. The Israelites were outnumbered, scattered, and morale was breaking. Fear gripped the men. Many fled, unable to withstand the sheer size of the enemy. But not Adino. He stood firm. The sun burned hot above the valley. Dust rose as thousands of enemy sandals pounded the earth. Adino gripped his spear, not a sword, not a bow, but one long spear. In the hands of an ordinary man, it was just a weapon. But in the hands of Adino, it became an instrument of God's power. As the enemy surged forward, Adino charged. With every strike, another soldier fell. One spear thrust, one enemy down, but they kept coming. 10 men, 20 men, 50 men. Still, he fought on. His body must have been covered in sweat and blood, yet his grip never loosened. The battlefield turned into chaos. Shouts of war, the clash of weapons, the cries of the dying. Yet in the middle of it all, one man stood like a lion among sheep. Think about it. Most warriors would be exhausted after killing 10, maybe 20 men. Adino pressed on until the count reached hundreds. His arms burned, his muscles screamed, but he refused to stop. His faith in God gave him supernatural endurance. Each swing of his spear was a declaration that Israel's God was stronger than any army. Finally, when the dust settled, the enemy lay scattered across the field. Not dozens, not hundreds, but 800 men, all fallen at the hands of one warrior. When word spread of what Adino had done, his name became a legend in Israel. Soldiers whispered in awe, "That's Adino, the man who stood alone and killed 800 with one spear." But Adino wasn't fighting for glory or fame. He fought because he knew the God of Israel was with him. His victory was a testimony that battles are not won by numbers or weapons, but by the power of the Lord. And this is why he was listed among David's mighty men. Just as Eleazar's hand once clung to his sword until it stuck, just as Shammah defended a field of lentils until God gave victory, Adino too became a living witness of courage and faith. Adino's story isn't just about ancient warfare, it's a lesson for us today. Sometimes we feel outnumbered by life, by problems, enemies, or struggles that seem too great. But Adino shows us that with God's strength, one person can stand against hundreds, even thousands. You don't need an army. You don't need overwhelming weapons. You just need faith, courage, and the determination to never back down. So the next time you face challenges that seem impossible, remember Adino the Eznite, the man who, with one spear and unshakable faith, defeated 800 men. And just like Adino, you too can become a mighty warrior in the battles of life. If this story inspired you, imagine how many more hidden gems are waiting in the Bible. Stories of courage, faith, and victory. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share it with someone who needs encouragement today. Because history is not just about what happened, it's about what it teaches us now.